What is up, Carol here with Themeisle. What we're gonna be doing today is improving the largest contentful paint of your WordPress website. So LCP, what it does is that it simply defines how long it takes for the largest element of your page design to load. And Google cares about this element, your visitors care about this element, frankly because given that it's the biggest element of your design, then it's also gonna take the most time to load. And before it loads, the user can only sit idle, wait, and basically test their patience. So slow LCP leads to high bounce rates, to your visitors hating your site and Google hating your site as well. But okay, so this is the definition. It's the largest element on your site. But what it is in practice. So if you look at, for instance, our website at themeisle.com, then it's probably gonna be this big element here in the center. It has a couple of graphics. If you look at my site, I would guess that it's this animation in the center that is pretty sizable, but actually you don't have to guess. You can go to PageSpeed Insights, test your website and just see what Google thinks about it. So basically scroll down the page until you see LCP request discovery. In this place, Google is gonna let you know exactly what the LCP element of your page is. And as I said, in my case, this is the animation in the center of the design. So knowing this, you can start optimizing this element. You can start making sure that it can load as fast as possible. Okay, so how? In this video, I'm gonna show you a couple of methods, a couple of techniques, and also tell you what value you should aim at. Or in other words, what a good LCP score actually is. And let's start with this one. So Google has its own document that tells us all about the largest contentful paint, what it is, how it works, and also what's an acceptable number to see. So in Google's own words, a good LCP score is below 2.5 seconds. And I would say that's actually pretty optimistic on their part. I would say that you should aim for something much smaller, even in the range of 1.5 seconds or even lower. So yeah, this is what LCP is. The PageSpeed Insights is how you test it, so how to improve it. The first technique and the simplest one is to optimize your images. Your images are the biggest part of how much space your website consumes on your server and also as part of the bandwidth that's consumed whenever your site is being delivered to the visitor. So the best way to optimize your images, the simplest way, is to use a plugin like Optimal. It has a free version. The free version is gonna let you optimize images for up to 2,000 visitors a month. So it should be more than enough for most websites, most small websites, and the installation process is quite simple as well. So I have it here installed on this test website and it's gonna do much of the optimization on its own on autopilot. So all you have to do is basically just install the plugin like any other plugin, connect to the Optimal service, and then just enable the plugin to operate. So the main thing in the settings, the main toggle to switch would be this one, enable optimal image handling. And this by itself is gonna start optimizing your images using the best settings to give you the best results. You can also customize a couple of things about it. So for instance, if we go into advanced, you can pick if you want to optimize for speed, for quality, or set custom settings if you are more advanced in image optimization. In most cases, if it's LCP that we want, then you're gonna want to optimize for speed. And the cool part about Optimal is that it won't affect the original versions of your images. Those images, your original images, are kept safely on your server. The only thing that Optimal does is that it optimizes those images on the fly, on the way to the visitor. Cool, so that's number one. Number two, a great way to improve your LCP would be to exclude your above default images from lazy load. But let's rewind. So lazy load is just a simple practice of loading certain images on your page only when the visitor is actually ready to see them, meaning when they scroll past the image on the screen. However, while this is great, it can be a problematic thing for things like LCP, because if an image is lazy loaded, then it's obviously not on the screen when the user opens the page for the first time. So we simply need to exclude the top images from lazy load, and you can do that in Optimal as well. Just go into lazy load settings, and in here you can pick to skip a number of initial images from lazy load or skip lazy loading anything above default. Yeah, so that's number 2. Next, use a caching plugin, and one that works great is our own Super Page Cache. It's really simple to use. So similarly to Optimal, you just install it, activate it, and from that point on, you can enjoy caching. So what caching is that whenever WordPress wants to show some information to your visitor, it first needs to generate that information. And what caching does is that it just caches this final version of this generated information and stores that on your server, so that when a next visitor comes along, the information doesn't need to be generated all over again. We can just reuse the previous version. So yeah, to make sure that you can use that after installing Super Page Cache, just switch Disk Page Cache to yes, meaning enabled. So once we save the settings, your page is being cached, your whole website is being cached like that, just on autopilot. If you want to, of course, you can customize some of the settings. You can even enable the advanced settings panel, which is, as the name suggests, quite advanced, but I leave it up to you. The default settings of this plugin are more than good enough to give you a good LCP score. Next one, connect to a CDN. So CDN, for Content Delivery Network, is something that you can use to basically spread out your information, the data of your website, throughout multiple servers across the web. And the secret is that whenever a visitor tries to visit your website, they can fetch this information from the server that's the closest to their location, which means it's gonna be the fastest to serve this information. So you can get CDN through a couple of ways. So first off, if you are using Optimal, then Optimal is gonna connect your site to an image CDN by default, meaning you only have to install the plugin and then the CDN functionality is included right from the get-go. So you can check that if you go to Optimal settings and then into image storage. So Optimal is gonna save all your images in the cloud, and then it's gonna send them through the CDN network to then deliver them as fast as possible to your visitors. And then option 2, you can also enable Cloudflare CDN and edge caching for your entire website. And Cloudflare is really effective when it comes to caching your site, delivering it fast, and also doing it for free. So if you go to Super Page Cache, go into Cloudflare, this is where you get to enable Cloudflare connection for your website. I made a totally separate video about that, so I'm gonna just send you over to that to get all the details, but the process is pretty simple. I'm sure you're gonna figure it out. It takes like 10 minutes to set everything up, and the speed improvements are really substantial. Next point is just to, consider switching to a better host. Hosting is a huge topic in WordPress, in all of website development, and basically the secret is that not all hosting companies are created equally, and not all of them will deliver the same performance, even though the pricing might be similar. So, two hosts can cost the same but deliver totally different performance. So we did a lot to test hosting performance on various sites. You can see the main study over at WP Shout. And basically, this is where every month I go through some of the most popular hosting companies on the market and test the load times that they can deliver. And just looking at the data from this year, you can see that, there are some significant differences. I'm not gonna recommend any specific hosting company now, but just know that you might want to look around for something faster if you suspect that your host might not be performing awesomely. Yeah, so that is it. Those are the main strategies you can use to improve the LCP score on your WordPress website. So I think I shared 5 with you, but I do have 3 more to share. But for those, you're gonna have to go over to WP Shout and check out the full blog post on this topic. And that is it for now. I hope you're gonna improve your LCP using the information from this video. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe. There's a lot more content coming up, and see you next time.